This is the New Jersey Lacrosse Podcast. Welcome to episode 2 of the 2026 season. I am here live recording on President's Day weekend with my compadres Bill Tharp and Gil Swenson. Okay, so lest anybody think that I forgot his last name, jerk, and Anthony Terranova. Boys, how we doing?
Very good. Sorry for episode
Fantastic. 2. It's almost like we were just together.
When he coached at Montgomery, did you guys interact a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but it was like...
No, I think I emailed you for to come out and talk to the team about rules, and then I never saw you again.
No, we would chop it up in the coach. We would chop it up in the coach's office a little bit.
Honestly, I feel like I saw you a lot more when I was with England than I did when Swenson was there.
Probably because I didn't know my name.
So there is some. For those who don't know, there's some Rutgers Prep Montgomery lore. Famously, when you guys played Rutgers Prep,
segue into our rules episode.
But Montgomery famously did not have a complete midfield line. And my question is, as the king of rules in New Jersey Lacrosse, I think that's your official title. Why did you purposely set Gil up for failure?
Because I just really don't like Gil at all. It's continued to this day. We have no camaraderie whatsoever, and I wanted to see him get not the job anymore. Come on. The number of non-complete midlines, and I was like, can we just go get the chalk out of the thing? Go get a piece of masking tape. This is actually a funny story before we get into the rules thing. Allentown Notre Dame a couple of years ago was going to be a real good game, and it was. It was an overtime game. It ended up being, obviously 1 goal in overtime. And one of the coaches had said, hey, they don't have a complete end line or a complete midline. And there was kind of like a ton of things going on that day at Notre Dame, so there was not a very easy solution to fix this. And I was like, you get a trainer over there? Which I knew they had. I'm like, got some athletic tape? I'm like, got some masking tape? Got anything? I'm like, I don't really care what kind of tape you got. Lay it on the midline, for the stretch that you got it, and we're going to be good. In the world of officiating, do I want to start a rivalry game by giving somebody the ball off the opening face-off? We know that that's one possession, and it's whatever, and it could go either direction, but you talk about starting off where people might want to kill each other. That's the worst way to start one of those games. So appreciate you bringing that back up. Good job.
Yeah. It's a shame you did that to Gil.
I apologize, Gil.
Gil Swenson.
Okay. Gil Swenson. All right. It's like Sunday Red. Sunday Red. Okay. Episode 2 of our podcast, Lest We Digress. We're going to go over some of the new rules for 2026. And then this is scarily the episode that we have kind of planned where maybe Tharp goes off on a tangent that we don't know where he's going to head. So we'll take you through some new coaches, new faces, new names, old names, new places, potentially, and just get everybody caught back up on what's going on. There's a bunch of different as the rules king of New Jersey, as you have now coined me, that there's a lot of small things that people probably won't notice, so we don't need to dive into those on the pod. But there's 3 specific things that I think actually will get noticed as Tharp whips out the... Where'd you get that rule book, Tharp?
Got it from Keith Glock.
There you go. That's good. You didn't want to pay the $6 to get it online. Thanks.
Well, right. I like it. I need to hold it.
They make printers now.
I know, but I have an honest question.
Hopefully I have an honest answer.
If I bring this out at a game, what's the response?
Put that away. That's the answer. All right.
What if it's a game you're reffing?
You know what the great part about this is that we don't have the luxury. You'd be like, let me leaf through this thing. I just gotta know the damn thing, okay? Yeah, so does every other guy.
But you actually don't need to know the damn thing because your referee test is open book.
Yeah, it's just to get people in the book.
So does that mean now if I'm reffing now don't you see the flaw in that?
You open the door to this, by the way. You open the door.
You don't see the flaw to that? No.
I don't see the flaw in it because...
So you expect every ref to remember every single thing?
Yes,
it's open book. But they don't get to bring the book on them on the field?
I understand that. The test is not the test is not the test of whether or not they've memorized it. The games are the test of whether or not they've memorized it. Perhaps while on the test...
gets a lot of games that get failed.
Yeah, so then what is...
a lot of failed
perhaps
tests.
While on the test
and
they
wins
look
the game
through the rule
pass,
book,
they lose to fail every time.
It allows them to rememorize some things so that now they won't need it on the field. But I digress. God forbid we should do some education here.
Yeah, but what if they're on the field, passing or failing could be life or death. Did you ever consider that?
All right, nobody's dying, okay? I can tell you right now, literally nobody's dying on the field. We're not letting that happen. Secondly, no, there is an expectation that everybody knows the rules when you put the stripes on.
Yikes.
And look, you can say that, all right, it hasn't worked out that way, but it's also the blend of knowing what the rules are and then applying it in a fair way. Like, there's so many levels to it, and I will tell you that until at my urging, you and Gilberto Swenson over here put the stripes on and come out and officiate a game, like, it will change everything you think about why officials stink.
I guarantee you,
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I guarantee
yes, say what I think you're going to say.
Give me the test. Not right now, obviously. Give me the test and I will pass it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I love. All right, what
Oh,
are we wagering on this?
I don't know.
On
We'll
episode
figure it out.
3.
Before I shake this, no. I want terms. I want terms right now.
We'll think about it.
The USA lacrosse test.
Whatever you guys have to pass.
No, not because it's not the USA lacrosse test. Is what we have to pass. I want you to take the test that USA lacrosse has made up, and you.
Well, why do I have harder standards than your refs?
Because our refs are actually getting
Worse?
getting held to the standard of what the USA lacrosse test is, because I amended and showed all the things that maybe didn't go right with the way Arbiter,
Okay, I don't
not
care.
the NJSIA made the lacrosse test this year, the way Arbiter made the test, which was a disaster.
Okay, I'll pass the test. What do you need? You
With
need
an
80, right?
you need an
80.
Please. That's easy.
It's going to be an overtime podcast waiting to happen. I can't
Are
wait.
you going open book?
No, I don't need a book. That's a
I
steel
was going to
trap.
offer. I was
This
going to
is
offer
a
open book.
steel trap. Because imagine how embarrassing it'll be for you when I pass without open book. I may take it in front of you.
This is going to be great. We're going to time lapse it. It's going to be fantastic. All right. Anyway, this is like. By the
We're
way,
still
obviously
behind
we
right now.
didn't talk about
First
any
question.
of this.
Wait, was that your hot take?
Stupid.
No. I just think that's dumb.
Can I get into the new rules?
You
now?
can't take. They don't let you take your driver's test open book.
Can I get into the
Counterpoint.
new rules now? Can I get into the new rules now?
Sure. That was
Thank
fun.
you.
That was good.
All right. The
People are
first-
gonna like
Driving
that
is life and
segment.
death.
driving actually is life and death.
Yeah, but again, you can call it alternate possession when it's on alternate possession. I forgot on the sideline.
I don't even know that you just made sense at
Did you
all.
just try to make up a quote?
Yeah. Okay. First new rule that I think is impactful for 2026 is the elimination of the 5-second count for the goalie. This brings the NFHS rules, the high school rules. When I say NFHS, National Federation of High Schools, that rule set in line with NCAA rules. So if you've watched games on ESPN over the years, you have already known that if a goalie has left the crease for any reason whatsoever, whether it's to chase a shot, out on a clear, anything like that, and there's a turnover, the goalie does not get 5 seconds to return back to the crease before play can be restarted. Right now, as long as the team entitled to possession has the ball and all the other things that we would want to be legal for a restart are in place, the officials are going to blow the whistle, and the goalie's just got to get back in the crease.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say within the first 3 games, Tharp complains about a ref not blowing the whistle fast enough to beat a goalie back.
3 games. 3? Why are you giving him that much latitude?
3 possessions.
That's probably more likely. Oh my God. You know what might be another part of the Overtime podcast? It's just publishing like screenshots of some pieces of our group chat and then just having you comment on the screenshots.
I think we should do a ref film review session. You'll never let it happen, but
You're correct. I would never let that happen. But I know, you know what I will let happen? I will let a Keith Glock referee film session happen. You could just show as much film of me as you
your
want.
dog shit games.
That's fine. I'm good with that.
Can we curse on this now?
We can do whatever we want. Yeah, this is Q4 Lacrosse
You gotta
podcast. So we
put the
allow.
little E on Spotify there.
That's fine. Any other thoughts on the 5 second for the goalie, guys?
Love it.
Yeah, so needed. Absolutely needed.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was one of those things that, as somebody who's behind the scenes on this, I proposed this as a rule change for 3 straight years, and it got shot down in the first year that I didn't propose it to the National Committee and passed. So whatever, who knows what changes in the room sometimes, but it just does. The second one that I know I can't wait for Tharp to weigh in on, the crowbar. Okay, specific language was added to the rule book to talk about hooking and pinning by a defensive player, where we know what the crowbar is. If Tharp has the stick in his right hand and I stick the stick in here and spin him around, I am exerting unequal pressure. And that has always been the standard for what a hold is. And the difference for the old-time guys and the new school players is where a hold looked very easy when we used to have a long pole shove the stick through the stick carrying hand of the player, and if that arm got lifted up, it was like very obvious. So then coaches got smart and said, well, just go after the non-stick carrying hand. The result was exactly the same. Me lifting the stick carrying arm and spinning a guy around is the exact same as me lifting the non-stick carrying arm and spinning a guy around. It's unequal pressure. It's a foul. It is at minimum a hold. And if the spin puts a player in a vulnerable position off balance, and then the player who's spun him around then finishes through him and puts him violently to the ground, I've kind of told the officials, if you look at that and you say like, whoa, that was bad. Like, he did not need to do that. Absolutely go unnecessary for a minute.
Is it only between the arms? Like if stick or hands go between his arms?
That's what the crowbar is.
Right, but if he gets up underneath of anything?
So up underneath of anything, now we're talking about, am I just like clearing my hands through? Where, like, is it equal pressure? Is it unequal pressure? Is there advantage, disadvantage? So advantage, disadvantage is the thing that we as officials think about all the time. If going underneath somebody's hands, now all of a sudden there's unequal pressure that pushes him off of the line where he is trying to go, that to me feels illegal. But there's plenty of plays where somebody would go under somebody's hands, the player just picks up his stick, it clears, the player's momentum keeps going the way that he wants it to go, where I would say that's totally legal contact. But it's all about unequal pressure and advantage, disadvantage.
Bill?
What was the side for? What was the
I
side
think
for?
The term's unequal
you're the defensive
pressure.
coach. I
Yeah,
think.
the term unequal pressure bothers me.
Why is that?
Are we calling it on offense when they body through a defender? That's unequal pressure for the offense.
No, but you're not. That player isn't holding another player. Like, there's a difference between contact and holding.
I'd be okay with this rule if refs started calling more offensive fouls on head lowering. I never see it called properly.
Right. Now, you say, I don't agree that we don't ever call it properly. You want a bull dodge called as what, a personal foul?
Is it illegal for an offensive player to lower their head into a defender?
If the contact is initiated where the first piece of contact is with the head. So if I lower my head into you, like, I can lower my head all I want, but if the first piece of contact that I make is with my shoulder to your shoulder, and then because my momentum is going this way and yours is going this way, our shoulders hit and then our heads clang, that's not a foul because the contact was initiated shoulder to shoulder. Very different from if I lower my head and now the first piece of contact that gets made is my head into your head, big problem, 2-minute foul, spearing. So now all that stuff we know as officials happens real fast, right? And what you hear on the sideline as a coach is you hear the clang of the helmets. But from 5 yards away, as an official, I have to determine what was the first piece of contact that got made, right? I'm not telling you that their heads didn't hit. It's the same thing. That's in the head. That's in the head. And yeah, I just said it in my game on Saturday. That's to the head. Yeah, 100%. Not a foul, though. Not enough for a foul there. Or, like, you know, like, heads are allowed to hit. It doesn't make it illegal just because there's head contact. It's who initiated it. Was it the first piece of contact? Like, it's obviously it's nuanced and it's hard because we want to protect kids, right? I mean, like, taking head injuries seriously is like one of the number one things that we give a crap about. But I don't know if that accurately answered your question.
Defending is hard enough, I think, and as soon as defenders came up with a good way to defend somebody, it's like the NFL. We're just going to make it offense. Favor the offense.
Okay, so now let me give you a way where I think this could go legally, right? A player who is in possession of the ball has a glove hand on the stick, which, Anthony Terranova, we know that a glove hand on a stick is part of the stick. So if I were to say, instead of lifting underneath the shoulder, I were to just lift hands, violently lift hands, because now we're stick on stick, and stick on stick is not a penalty ever, okay? So if you were to lift hands violently and then push through somebody's chest, bingo. Good defense. You want to lift and hook underneath an armpit, because that's a body part, which is specifically the thing that we're looking for unequal pressure. No, go after the thing which is a body part, a hand, which is considered by the rule book to be part of the stick, go after the legal body part, but it's just harder. It's harder to lift the hands and have it be something that affects a guy.
Well, I think the other problem is you often see someone hit a crowbar when someone's carrying one-handed. So they're carrying like this, right? So it's like so now you're telling me I have to, in that instance, right? If you're the defender, right? Now if you're gonna try and lift this hand, you have to reach across my body, which by definition becomes holding.
Yeah. Right. My point is, it's hard. It's like you don't get to do that. You might hate that you don't.
Well, that's
get
what I'm
to
saying.
do that.
It's hard enough to play defense, and we're going to take away options for defenders to defend.
95% of the time that I have seen the crowbar happen, it is because the defender is beaten. He is beaten. He's in a trailing position. Move your feet better, and then you won't have to hook the non-stick carrying hand. Because I'll tell you right now, if I'm a defender who is in front of that guy, and I go through the other armpit, basically, like, if you think about it, if a guy's driving down the right alley and the defender is actually in front of him and the stick goes through the left armpit and pushed in the chest, I would be like, he just bodied him, right? But the reason the crowbar works is because the kid is beaten and he sticks the stick in the non-stick carrying hand and spins the guy around. Don't get beat.
For that coaching advice next time.
No, obviously it's hard. But I mean, like, it's like what I joke about coaching track, run fast, turn left. Like, obviously it's more complicated than that. Obviously defending is really, really, really difficult, to your point. But like, we have to also figure out what's legal, what's not. Can't use body parts to your advantage. And I think the semblances don't get beat. But
I think that the optics of it are hard because with a pole, a V hold is essentially a super long crowbar, right? Like, and a V hold's not illegal. So I think it's like the optics of
But I would say that it is illegal when the guy does it too long.
You pick him up.
Well, when he hangs on to it too long, right? Like, because there's a timing element to it. Right? You V hold and then all of a sudden pull that off. It's the same way as the back check, right? Like, somebody's like hanging a stick back here and a guy throws a back check on him, and we know what the defender who long pull throws the back check and then like he pulls it back off the guy's back, versus the one where he sticks it in his lower back, right?
And he just leaves it there.
Right. One's a slash, one's probably just like going after the butt end of the stick. It's like those are the things that as officials I look at to determine whether it's a foul or it's not, because like the impact, like we're judging impact too. The long pole who goes for the back check and then throws it and pulls it back is like, it's not going to hurt the kid as bad. Like, it's not. But the one who sticks it in, you hear that thud in his lower back, and you're like, oh man, his kidney might be no longer existent. Like, that's a problem. So I think it's the same thing here.
What do you think about the play where, so I'm setting a pick, you're my defender, your teammate goes under the pick, and I throw a check just to get a chunk of the offensive player.
The guy who got slashed in the junk?
Yeah. Would you ever throw a slash on that?
On that play, I think I actually would have thrown, because like that's one of the plays specifically where like the result matters. Like, do I hate that he reached out and tried to check him in the hands? No, I don't hate that at all. Like, it's his job to probably disrupt that guy, right? But like, he missed.
Yeah.
If he was the on-ball defender and he missed the guy's hands there and just kept running with him, I don't know that I have a foul there. But you want to reach out and throw a one-hander at him and hit him in the junk, like, matters that you hit him in the junk.
Right.
Should he have been wearing a cup? For sure.
Yeah.
Every attackman knows it's just as painful to get hit everybody knows, okay?
We already got the explicit warning.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about, okay? If you ever played attack or ever played offense. All right, so the third rule change that I think is real impactful this year is another one that brings the NFHS rule in line with the NCAA rule, and that is the helmet coming off. If your helmet comes off during play as a result of a legal play, it is now a technical foul. And that is how it is in the NCAA. The exception to this rule is that if a foul has happened on the play, and let's just say I get fouled, doesn't matter what the foul is, could be a push in the back, could be anything that sends me to the ground or whatever it is, and my helmet comes off because I was fouled. That is not a technical foul against me whose helmet came off because I was fouled. However, in all instances, the player whose helmet came off is going to leave the field, and he has to stay off the field until the next dead ball following the resumption of play. So basically, the helmet comes off, he leaves, we restart play, we have another dead ball, and that's when the player can come back. This applies to offensive players and defensive players. So there's 400 scenarios, as I'm on like all these national rules committees, there's 400 scenarios that guys are trying to come up with to be like, but what about when this? But what about when that? If it's as a result of legal play, I don't care when it happens. It's a technical foul. So I'll give you all an example because there's people out there that may not know what I'm talking about. I have the ball. I am driving to the goal. I jump. I shoot. I score. Now, by rule, the play is over, right? Because the ball's in the goal. I land outside the crease. Everything is great. Still a good goal. When I land, my helmet comes off. Okay? That happened in the dead ball time. So it's a dead ball technical foul against the player who scored. We have a good goal. We enforce the technical foul in the dead ball time, meaning we don't have a face-off, and we just award the ball to the other team. Same now, like, and I'll take this, travel it down the line. I have the ball. I get legally pushed in the chest. I step out of bounds, which means at the moment I step out of bounds, the ball gets awarded to the defender who just made a good play. Now I land. My helmet comes flying off as I'm out of bounds. Because the ball technically belongs to the defense, and now in the dead ball time, the player's helmet came off, in addition to the fact that he's got to go off, he now is going to serve 30 seconds because it's a dead ball technical foul against the player whose helmet came off. So always going to be a technical foul, always going to leave the field unless the player's helmet came off because he was fouled. If you think about it simply like that, we're good. Thoughts?
If he was fouled, he doesn't have to leave the field?
No,
or you
they
said he still
always has to leave the field.
They always have to leave the field.
Right.
No, college always has to leave the field. Always have to leave the field. Always. It's just a question of whether or not you are penalized for your helmet coming off.
If you get penalized and you're serving the penalty for the helmet, can you release the penalty or you still have to wait for the dead ball?
Look at you. I see. Maybe we should give Gil the officials
Give me
test.
the rule book.
There you go. Give it to him.
So to give us a little more detail to Gil's question, let's say I am a defender and I'm not wearing my helmet any kind of way that I should, and I'm just running and my helmet comes off, okay? Which I've seen, sadly, okay? I've seen it happen, all right? We have an immediate whistle. The player who's playing defense has to go off, and he's going to serve 30 seconds for a technical foul for his helmet coming off. Now, the offensive team plays offense for 30 seconds. His penalty is released. Can he release back into the game? He cannot. He still has to wait for the next dead ball.
Interesting.
So can the team sub another guy back in? Absolutely. There's no reason for them to continue to play man down. It just has to. It cannot be the player whose helmet came off.
That's gonna be so hard to like.
Well, you know, we're gonna.
And the question you guys ever said, what if I call a timeout? Can he come back in?
Before the penalty, because they're on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has to serve the duration of his penalty.
No, I'm saying like regular offensive guy loses his helmet, then I want to
Sure.
get back in the game, so I call a timeout so I can get back in the game.
Yes. However, you have to have play be restarted before you call the timeout. So therefore, a defending team
I can't call
See?
timeout before
Right.
the penalty starts.
right.
Call like 1
And
second.
then bring him back
Boom.
in on the
Correct.
end of the penalty.
Because the
Gotcha.
defending team can't call timeout because they don't have the ball. So therefore, we have to wait till the next
Play
dead
had to
ball.
be restarted.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So that's all well and good with that stuff. Any other thoughts on that stuff, boys?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. The only note that I have written here is, and I make the sign of the cross for everybody just listening to us and not watching us on YouTube. I just made the sign of the cross as a fine Catholic boy who went to the St. Peter's Preparatory School in Jersey City. And my note is Tharp's hot take. So with that,
You got 5 minutes.
go.
Yeah, I feel really limited.
Good.
I actually think that this is. I needed their attention. I'm just. What are we doing over there?
Tyreek Hill got released by the Dolphins.
Oh,
He's going to look
breaking
awesome
news.
in a Falcons uniform. I'll tell you
Breaking
that.
news on the NJ Lacrosse
No,
Podcast.
it's not. He's going to be a chief. Anyway, I actually don't think this is my hottest take. I think this one is actually really well thought out. I have some hotter takes, but I can't get them off.
You're
before
wasting your
4:30.
own time right now.
So
4:30.
the other day, we were complimenting. I was complimenting Notre Dame High School on their schedule. I thought they really beefed it up. They play some really strong out-of-conference teams, Bergen Catholic, St. Augustine, a couple others. And you guys have pointed out, while they do that, they still play, a couple CVC schools that are a little weaker. And so, going through NJ.com, so clearly the CVC does their scheduling similar to what we do in the Skyland, where, Notre Dame is in the top division, so the top plays the middle plays the top, the bottom plays the middle. So those middle teams have to play the top team. So my take, which I don't think is that crazy actually, so it is not a division game because they're not in the same division. They're going up a division. So I think my take is, and my proposal would be, that if you are not within the same division and you are, I think there's a mathematical number. It's like if you're further spread out than like between 175 spots on lax numbers, or on lax numbers you're more than like a 15 goal differential, you should be able to cancel whatever language you want to use. You should be able to not play that game at any foul. So, for example, last season Notre Dame hung 25 on West Windsor South twice. This year they're scheduled to play. Notre Dame is going to be very good this year. They're a fringe top 20 team. I believe that if Notre Dame or West Windsor South wanted to not play that game, and it goes either way, that should be allowed. I don't think that there should be any foul to that, because that is a game that they are required to play by, I guess, the CVC, because it's not the state. They're required to play by the CVC, but it is a game that does no one any good, right? We're aligned there. And I think that by giving teams the opportunity to opt out of that contest, now West Windsor is able to add a team that would be more competitive for them. Notre Dame could then add another non-conference game. It doesn't have to be the same as St. Augustine, but it could be a top 50 team, something like that. Or and like I said, the Skyline would be the same way. Gills is probably the top team on lax numbers this year in the Skyland. If they wanted to play a team 100 spots lower than them on lax numbers, they would be able to opt out of that game. Thoughts?
One, I think you got to get away from lax numbers, because that's obviously what the NJSA is trying to do. So it would be having to try to get into within whatever PowerPoint range.
But the point is, it's not a state. But scheduling is not. This is not a state.
Yeah, it's still like the same. It's still the same thing though. If all these ADs are going to a certain thing, they're still going to fall under the same umbrella. Like that's what I would think. And at the same time, these schedules are done so far in advance. You don't know who's going to be at that time.
Schedule
7 points behind, and all of a sudden, like, oh well, now this team just got to this point. I want to play them. Who are you going to find in a notice? You're not going to be able to schedule? Hey, Ridgewood, you got any opening slots? No, their schedule is done. They're locked in. So like, who at the same time are you really going to schedule? Like, what are your in the last minute when you're finding out? Oh well, this team still has another game. If this team wins this game, they're not going to be in that 100. They're going to be in the 80s now, and so like then we have
But you would know.
You have to play them.
I guess this would be like a preseason thing, like going off last year's results.
It's so drastic from.
I know, but anybody. But
look at Kingsway.
If you want,
look at Glen Ridge.
If you want more competitive scheduling, I think we need to give, like Skyline. I remember there's so many games built into your conference schedule that you're hamstrung to that conference for so many games. Like I only wanted to schedule 13 regular season games because I knew we'd have 4 in county, or I hoped we'd have 4 in counties and 4 or 5 in states. It's a 20-something game schedule just with that. So I'm not scheduling 15, 16, 17 regular season games, but I want to play other teams outside of those 13 or 11, whatever it was. I think we had 11. I only wanted 13, so I'd only book 2 extra games, but I wanted to play more teams. So I think if you want to get more competitive, if these conferences are truly kind of relegation format where a lesser team drops to the lower division, the better teams move up to the higher division, you stop the crossover games. Just say you have to play your upper division. That's the division you're in this year. Now you only have 6 or 7 mandatory games. Now you have 7 or 8 that you can schedule whoever you want.
Stop the crossover.
But I think there's some say they're kind of relegation, some aren't. Like Skyline was weird. Like there was an upper and a lower, but for a few years, Montgomery and Pingree, we were both in the middle. But we were playing the better teams or the A teams, and like we're playing Central in the final. Like so it's not full relegation or it is. Like I know like the New Jersey Lacrosse League is a little bit more so, right? But it's also delayed. Like we saw,
2 years.
We've seen teams who are great in the middle or lower division, have a great couple of years, move up as soon as they graduate everybody, and get smacked, and then move back down, get better again. And it's too delayed. So I think if you want to fix something, I would fix the divisions and really, truly get better teams in a better division ahead of time.
Too, ask the coaches. They know they're supposed to, if you think, hey, I got a good team this year. Like I want to play with the big boys. Like,
right.
Yeah, but I think
I lost every single senior. I have one returner. Like we need to move down.
I just think that like we said, right?
I mean, I guess one of the things you can always move up, but you can't move down.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. I completely agree with you, Tharp. This is a wonderful magic wand moment. That if we had magic wands and we could do these things, but ADs and ADs basically say we need a standard scheduling matrix. And that's the terminology that they use. It's a scheduling matrix. Right. This is who plays who, and they have to do it to be able to schedule out the season. They, quite frankly, don't care sport to sport because it would be too complicated in order to get it done. So therefore, what you're saying, though I agree with it, is a complete impossibility. And to keep us on schedule, I'm ending this here. This has been episode 2 of the New Jersey Lacrosse Podcast. We will be back next week with our first edition of the Top 20, where we take you through numbers 20 through 11 as ranked by all of the experts, not including me, on this panel. And really excited for it. We'll be right back with episode 3 in our live segment with Bill Tharp, Anthony Terranova, Keith Clark, and Gil Swenson of Q4 Lacrosse.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and watching. Hopefully you're watching on our